Greetings, this is Reverend Yue McCormick of True Vow Temple. In this presentation, I will be talking about the Shomyo verses that are used to open and close the morning and evening devotional practice and other services of Nichiren Buddhism. In Nichiren Shu, our services begin with a Shomyo or hymn called Dojoge, which means the verse on the place of awakening, and end with a Shomyo called Buso, which means farewell. Shomyo are short chants written in Chinese characters and sung in Sino-Japanese, which is a Japanese approximation of the way those characters were pronounced by the Japanese when they first received them from China. Shomyo are accompanied by bows and full prostrations. With these gestures of reverence, the Shomyo are meant to be bodily practices as well as verbal and heartfelt. Nichiren Shu clergy are trained to perform Shomyo, though they may be taught to lay practitioners who wish to learn them. Both the verse on the place of awakening and the farewell acknowledge the presence of the three treasures consisting of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, the teacher, the teaching, and the community that upholds and follows the teaching. From the very beginning of Buddhism, taking refuge in the three treasures was the way to express one's sincere commitment to follow the Buddha Dharma. All schools of Buddhism recognize their validity and importance. In this rendering of the three treasures, I have placed the kanji, or Chinese characters that mean Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. The character for Buddha is on top, the Dharma is to the left, and the Sangha is to the right. These two Shomyo also acknowledge the presence of the Shugojin, or guardian deities, who are any of the beings who protect the Dharma, including the 8 kinds of supernatural beings, bodhisattvas, and vidyarajas. The 8 kinds of supernatural beings are the traditional recipients and protectors of the Dharma, aside from the Buddha's historical disciples and the bodhisattvas. They all appear, for instance, in the first introductory chapter of the Lotus Sutra, as present in the former assembly on Mount Sacred Eagle. The first of the 8 kinds of supernatural beings are the gods, or devas. The Sanskrit term deva, which can also be translated as radiant one or shining one, has been accepted into the English language, but the devas are commonly referred to as gods or deities. They personify and preside over the powers of nature and principles of life. Rebirth as a god is one of the 3 good destinies, the highest of the 6 or 5 destinies among the 10 realms. Among them are the 4 heavenly kings, Indra and Brahma. The second are the dragons or nagas. The dragons dwell beneath the oceans and control the tides, the flow of rivers, and the rain. Though intelligent and extremely powerful, they are classified as animals among the 6 destinies. In Chapter 1 of the Lotus Sutra, 8 great dragon kings are listed as present in the assembly, and in Chapter 12, the daughter of the dragon king Sagara attains Buddhahood in an instant. The third are the yakshas, who are lesser nature spirits associated with trees, forests, or even villages, but they have a fierce side as well, and then in their more demonic, flesh-eating aspect, they are known as rakshasas. Sometimes they are classified as gods, but other times as hungry ghosts among the 6 destinies. In Chapter 26 of the Lotus Sutra, Kishimojin and her daughters, who are rakshasis, offer dharanis, or protective spells, to the practitioners of the Lotus Sutra. The fourth are the Gandharvas, who are celestial musicians who can fly through the air and are sometimes depicted with wings, and they are the husbands of the Apsaras, the celestial nymphs who are the retainers, attendants, and entertainers of the gods. Another name for a Gandharva is god of fragrance. They are classified as gods among the 6 destinies. The fifth are the Asuras, who are a class of demigods or titans, often called fighting demons. The Sanskrit word Asura can also be translated as anti-god or non-god. They are the constant rivals of the gods, especially Indra and the 4 heavenly kings. Asura are characterized by jealousy, envy, pride, and constant competition. Rebirth as an Asura is one of the 4 evil destinies, the lowest of the 6 destinies, and of the 10 realms. Sometimes, however, they are counted as the lowest of the 3 good destinies, which are the 3 highest of the 6 destinies. If only 5 destinies are enumerated, They are reclassified as either very powerful hungry ghosts or as lesser gods. While asuras are generally considered evil and fearsome spirits fond of fighting, they can also be good spirits and protectors of Buddhism. The sixth are the Garudas, who are giant golden-winged birds who prey upon the Nagas. Vishnu has a Garuda as a mount. Though intelligent and extremely powerful, they are classified as animals among the 6 destinies. The seventh are the Kimnaras, who are celestial musicians and dancers, who have the bodies of birds with human heads and torsos. Though intelligent and extremely powerful, they are classified as animals among the 6 destinies. The eighth are the Maharagas, who are large serpents that dwell beneath the earth, whose movements cause earthquakes. Though intelligent and extremely powerful, they are classified as animals among the 6 destinies. Finally, among the guardian deities are the Vidyarajas. The Sanskrit term Vidyaraja can be translated as knowledge king. The term Vidya can refer to many kinds of knowledge, but here it refers specifically to mystic or esoteric knowledge, such as taught in esoteric Buddhism. A Vidyaraja is a Dharmapala, a type of guardian deity in esoteric Buddhism. They represent the power of the Buddhas to vanquish blind craving. They are kings of mystic knowledge because they wield the mantras and dharanis, mystic spells made up of Sanskrit syllables imbued with the power to protect practitioners of the Buddha Dharma from all harm and evil influences. The Vidyarajas appear in terrifying, wrathful forms because they embody the indomitable energy of compassion that breaks down all obstacles to liberation and wisdom. In 1254, Nichiren Shonin had visions of Achalanatha, Vidyaraja, better known as Fudo Myo-o, and Raga Vidyaraja, or Aizen Myo-o. The drawings he made of his visions are kept at Myohonji Temple in Hota. Nichiren Shonin wrote of these visions in his Fudo Aizen Kankenki. Achalanatha Vidyaraja and Raga Vidyaraja are both represented on the Omandala Gohonzon by their respective seed syllables that embody their essence. In this case, the seed syllables are written in the Siddham script used for writing Sanskrit. Achalanatha Vidyaraja appears as the syllable Vam. Raga Vidyaraja appears as the syllable Hum. These are the only 2 names to appear as seed syllables on the great mandala. What are we to make of all these beings? I don't want to go into too much in this presentation, but let me offer a few ideas. These beings can represent aspects of our nature, intuitions, malevolent and benevolent impulses, aspirations and temptations. These beings, of course, also represent the powers of nature, the oceans, rivers, winds, earth, sun, moon, and stars. Some of these beings in Vedic myth are natural enemies, such as the Devas and the Asuras, or the Nagas and the Garudas, and yet in the Dharma they come together to preserve and uphold the Dharma and protect its practitioners. This shows that the Buddha intended for the Dharma to bring peace to everyone, even sworn enemies. Notice how many of these are either serpentine or have wings and play musical instruments, much like the devils and angels in Western thought. I believe this is because the wings and harps of the angels represent freedom to be anywhere and to communicate from any distance, as well as feelings of elevated consciousness and a transcendent lightness of being, whereas the serpents represent the more earthly powers of sensuality and the cycles of nature. All of this is encompassed by the Buddha Dharma. When we practice the Dharma, it is not just ourselves, but all of life that practices in and through us in that moment. Now let us examine the Dojo-ge, the verse of the place of awakening, which is performed at the very beginning of a service. The title Dojo-ge means verse of the place of practice. Dojo means place of the way, and I will say more about this later. Ge is short for Geda, 2 kanji that transliterate the Sanskrit word gata, which means a verse. I shall begin by explaining the rubrics or directions indicated by the red triangles. The red triangles indicate where to hit the handbell or inkin. The first time it is struck, everyone should take the position called jo-ki, a kneeling position wherein both knees should be on the floor. The heels of both feet are raised and the toes are on the floor. The buttocks rest on the heels. Everyone's hands should be in gasho, palms together, with the juzu or prayer beads hanging from the palm and thumb of the left hand, When the inkin is rung a second time, the person leading the shomyo will begin the first part. Now let us look at the kanji of the first part. Ga means I, shi means this, and do means way. This kanji is the Chinese character for Tao, or the way. Jo is place. So dojo is a translation of the Sanskrit term bodhimanda, which means seat of awakening. It was used to indicate the way to awakening, or simply the place where one attains awakening. Nyo is like, and tai is chakra. Tai is part of two kanji, which together read as Taishaku. Taishaku refers to the Vedic god Indra, whose full name is Chakra Devanam Indra, which means the mighty one who is the lord and chief of the gods. The name Chakra means mighty, while Devanam means chief of the gods, and Indra means lord. The kanji Tai at one time in Chinese meant god of heaven, and came to be used to mean emperor or sovereign. The kanji Shaku is used in Chinese transliterations of the Sanskrit chakra, which means mighty. Indra is the Vedic god of thunder and lightning, the bringer of rain and the most powerful of the gods in the desire realm. Shu means gem or gems, which in this case refers to the gems in the net of Indra. Indra's net is a well-known symbol of universal interdependence and the mutual containment of all phenomena taught by the Buddha. I will say more about it in a moment. Altogether, this means, this place of awakening where I am is like a gem in Indra's net. Let's think about what this verse is saying. It is saying that as we sit down to chant the Odaimoku, the place where we are becomes the Bodhimanda, or seat of awakening. The Bodhimanda, or seat of awakening, is the place at the foot of the Bodhi tree, to the south of Bodh Gaya, where Shakyamuni Buddha attained unsurpassed, complete, and perfect awakening, located in the vicinity of the Nairanjana River in Magadha, India. This can also be likened to the Kaidan, or precept platform of the original gate that Nichiren speaks of as one of the three great secret dharmas. The point is that when we chant the Odaimoku, we are making the place where we are, wherever that is, into a place as significant as the Buddha's seat of awakening, and the place where we receive and uphold the diamond chalice precept conferred by the eternal Buddha. Now let's consider the net of Indra. It is said to cover the universe and has a gem in every interstice, each of which reflects all the others. It is a symbol of interdependence and the mutual containment of all phenomena, as every phenomena is only able to be what it is because of the contributions of all other phenomena, even if that contribution is to simply not get in the way of the appearance of the phenomena that is being examined. In other words, just as a gem in Indra's net reflects all the others, each phenomenon manifests every other phenomenon as its causes and conditions, so all is reflected in each, and each reflects all else. The next set of kanji are Ju, which is 10, Ho, which is directions, San, which is 3, and Bo, which is treasures. Yo is present, or as in here, and Gen is present as in now, the present. Chu is among. So altogether this means all the three treasures of the 10 directions are gathered here. The next kanji are Ga, which is I, Shin, which is bodily, Yo, which is present as in here, Gen, which is present as in now, San, which is 3, Bo, which is treasures, and Zen, which is before me. Here we see that in sitting down to practice, we are consciously aware that we are in the presence of the three treasures of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Our practice itself makes the Buddha's awakening present, expresses and puts into practice the Dharma, and makes us an active member of the Sangha. Altogether, this means these three treasures are all before me. The next kanji are Zu, which is head, Men, which is face, Sei, which is near, Soku, which is feet, Myo, which is submit, and Rai, which is life. The two characters pronounced Kimyo are a translation of the Sanskrit word namas, which is transliterated as Namu, It means I take refuge, or to devote one's life to the Buddha, or to entrust one's life to the Buddha. As one is singing ki, one performs kokugu tezu by bowing forward while extending one's hands in gasho, and then bringing them back to the chest as one comes up from the bow. Rai means salute. It is also part of the compound Raihai, which translates the Sanskrit term vandana, that means obeisance. The kanji for Raihai literally means rite of obeisance. It refers to the physical postures expressive of offering worship, such as a full prostration. As one sings Ra, one performs fukuhai, which is a full prostration. And as one sings I, one performs chosoku, which means to raise up the Buddha with our hands, as if the Buddha were standing on our palms. Altogether, these characters mean, I prostrate myself in homage and raise up the Buddha's feet. Now let us see how this looks in practice. Buso, which means farewell, is performed at the very end of a service. Let's examine it. The title Buso comes from two kanji which together mean to respectfully send someone off, such as a nobleman who has been a guest in one's home. Apparently these kanji have also been read as Hoso, but in Nichiren Shu they are pronounced Buso. The rubrics are the same as the Dojoge. The red triangles indicate where to hit the handbell or inkin. The first time it is struck, everyone should take the position called Joki. Everyone's hands should be in gasho, with the juzu hanging from the palm and thumb of the left hand. When the inkin is rung a second time, the person leading the shomyo will begin the first part. Yui means only, solely, merely, or simply. Gan means wish, petition, request, hope, or vow. These two kanji together are pronounced Yui-gan and mean to politely request, as in I simply wish. Sho means all, Sho means sacred, and Shu means beings. The two kanji Shoju means sacred beings and of course refers to the Buddha and his followers. Altogether, these kanji mean, may all the sacred beings gathered here. Ketsu means determine, and Jo also means to determine. Ketsujo together mean to determine or to resolve. Sho means to testify, are also proof, as in the three proofs of documentary, theoretical, and actual proof. It is also used in the sense of realization, as in teaching, practice, and realization. Chi means to tell or to inform, also knowledge or understanding. Shochi together means to testify, or in this case, to witness. Ga means my, or as in this case, our. Altogether, these kanji mean, be resolved to testify on our behalf. In other words, give a good report about us. Kaku means each, and to is arrive at, to reach, or to get to, or to leave for. Zui means subsequently, and sho is place. These two kanji, zui sho, together mean every place or everywhere. An means calm, peaceful, tranquil, safe, secure, comfortable, at ease. Altogether, I am taking this to mean each return home safely. Go means afterwards, bu means return, and sui means to hand down, transmit, hang down, or suspend. A, or I, means sympathy, and fu means visit. So altogether I am taking this to mean, and visit us again out of your compassion for us. Let us see how this looks in practice. In several places in the Lotus Sutra, you will find a roll call of all these beings who are assembled to hear the Lotus Sutra and who promise to look after and support those who uphold it. The Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, monks, nuns, laymen, laywomen, gods, dragons, yakshas, gandharvas, asuras, garudas, kimnaras, maharagas, and all human and non-human beings. In the Shindoku, it sounds like this. Bo satsu ma ka satsu gi sho biku biku ni yu ba soku u ba yi ten yu ya sha ken datsu ba ashuda karura ken nado mago da ga nin pi nin to. Regardless of whether we regard these bodhisattvas, gods, dragons, and other spirits as actual beings, are representative of actual beings, or more metaphorically as functions of life, there are two things I think we should bear in mind. We are always in the midst of subtle and unseen forces that comprise our life at all times. In terms of our practice, we cultivate awareness of these forces, personify them, treat them as welcome guests, good friends, protectors, and fellow practitioners, and then thank them for their presence and courteously send them off. When we take refuge in the three treasures, chant O Daimoku, and vow to save all sentient beings, we are never just doing it on our own. We are doing it as part of the Dharma realm, wherein there is no self or other. All of it practices through us, and our practice joins the ocean-like samadhi of all that is. I now bring this talk to a close. I look forward to your questions and comments. May the merits of this talk on the Dharma extend universally to all, so that we and all living beings together accomplish the Buddha way.